Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Partha Nandi. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you joining us on your Thursday evening, your busy Thursday evening. And maybe, as I always say, maybe it's Friday morning for some of you. So I appreciate it. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm a practicing gastroenterologist out of Detroit, Michigan, in the United States of America. And I also host a television show called Ask Dr. Nandi, and I'm an author of a book that we're releasing. Let's see if you can see this. Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. So thanks for joining us. Let us know where you're joining us from, and it's pretty cool to kind of share my. It's not even Thursday; it's Wednesday, isn't it?
No, it's Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
Yeah, it's Thursday.
It is Thursday. That's right. Never mind. Normally it's Wednesday, but today it's Thursday. I was feeling a little under the weather, so we postponed it to Thursday. So in some places it's TGIF, right? It's Thursday morning. So let us know where you're joining us from. And today's going to be a pretty cool topic. It's going to be heartache and the connection with your heart and the brain. So heart and brain. So, I put the topic up there let me show it up there on the screen. Maybe you guys can see it. Can heartache mess with your brain? Just ask Dr. Nandi. So that's kind of the topic, and seeing, when you have heartache, and a lot of you have had heartache, I'm sure, I recently had a heartache with the passing of my father, and it really can affect everything. And so I'm going to share with you some of the science behind it. And so, Tony Vodvarka, welcome. Beth Kurz, welcome. Patty Cologne, awesome. Patty, it's good to talk to you. I think we missed each other this evening. I was in the office seeing patients, could not get away, unfortunately. Anar Sazna, Jackie Wolishewski, exactly. Jagridi, thank you for joining us. It's kind of cool, I think that Facebook allows us to be able to interact with people that are like-minded, that really can use the information that's going on, and this whole connection between the brain and various parts of the body. And I talk about the connection between the gut and the brain, very important, right? But also, we're talking about the connection between the heart and the brain. So I'm excited about talking about it. It's revolutionary. It's really where the science is going, and love that all of you are with us. I want to tell you that if you are really willing to understand it, you can really make an effective change in your life, right? And that's the thing. How can you take this information and make a big change in your life? So I want to tell you about what is going on. The science is really very, very fascinating. Science talks about the relationship between the brain and the heart. And if you stick around with me to the end, we'll learn some really important stuff. And I'd love to be able to share some information and some tips to really effectively change. If there's a negative reaction between your brain and your heart and your brain, then I'd love to be able to change that. As I mentioned, it's a paradigm shifting for some people, because until now there really wasn't much thought between being a connection between the heart and the science. But science really has come a long way. It's come a really long way in figuring out what can be done. So I'd like to share that with you. And because of some important research showing that your heart and your brain may actually share connections, may share some cells that talk to each other. And I talk about the gut and the brain, right? The gut and the brain, the cells in the gut are, the nervous system in the gut is as complex, if not more complex, than the brain. And so, what about the brain and the gut and the brain and the heart and the brain and other parts of your body? So why is this really so interesting? It's that these are such important organs, right, to keep you alive. And so when they are not working in conjunction, if they're not working together, it could really be quite problematic. So, you every moment, every single day, you need the gut, the brain and the heart to work in unison. And if it doesn't, then you could really have some problems. So when you have heartache and you have issues with the synchronization, meaning that both the brain and the heart working in sync, it could really affect your life. So, interesting thing is that these organs communicate with each other in a more dynamic way than really thought. And new research has really shown that they actually talk to each other in a very intricate way. So when you have, for example, a heartache, when you have a problem with your heart, like a lot of us have when they have an emotional injury, it can also affect your brain. And we now know that changes in your heart can actually affect awareness, affect our emotions, affect even our intelligence. That's really revolutionary. And so important to know that it can actually, having heartache can actually or having anything to do with your heart that's adverse can really affect your brain and affect your intelligence. So, I'd like to know, what do you guys think about that? And somebody says, Helen Knapp says, absolutely believe it. And Jackie says, yes, and you've been there. You know what's going on. So I think that, again, it's interesting to talk about this, but really the key is that how can we then parlay that into having treatments, having people that are not overwhelmed by emotion, overwhelmed by the heart, and that it's starting to take over the brain and its functions. Let's take a look and see what my team is saying here. Let me take a look. How are you guys doing? Let me just let me know. Always give me instructions. So, like I said, when the heart and the brain talk to each other, they actually release chemicals that make a difference. And so, how can we affect those chemicals and make sure that they're okay? Now what are they telling me? Let's see. Boom. They're telling me that I've got to adjust something here. Let me just adjust it. All right, awesome. I'd like to tell all of you that a lot of some of this information is about advocacy, is about how you become your own health hero, how you actually take control of your life. Information and knowledge is critical in making sure that you can do the best for your body. And as we talk about on a lot of our Facebook Lives, I've got my book, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero. Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for longevity, well-being, and a happy life, and a joyful life, rather. And so today we're going to be able to, if you like, the book is coming out September. If you go to the website askdrnandi.com/Facebook, I will be able to give you an autographed copy of this book when it comes out. Love to be able to sign it and personalize it for you. So go to askdrnandi.com. Hopefully somebody can write that out for me. askdrnandi.com/Facebook, and if you do, you can pre-order the book before it comes out in September. The publication date is September, but it can come out before you can get it. You can order it before then and be one of the first ones to get it. So here we go. I think that really important to know exactly what to do. So one of the things I'd like to show is, so we're talking about the heart and how you can really increase some of the functions of the heart, and then in turn how it affects the brain. So what can we do? I'd like to be able to tell you one easy method in which to really get your body more calm and your heart more calm and your brain also more calm. And the energy of the heart increases when it's calm. And so what can we do to parlay this? Let's talk about just a breathing technique that a lot of us use, and I definitely use it. All it requires is 1 or 2 detoxifying breaths, which are really exaggerated or deep belly breaths. That's inhaled through your nostrils for 3 count, and then hold your breath for a 2 count, and then take a long exhale through your mouth for a 4-second count. I guarantee it'll instantly center you. So whenever you're kind of your boss or whatever is going on in your life, your kids are asking a lot of you, remember, you can do this exercise. So you guys ready? I'll give you a second to get ready. So first thing is I want you to close your eyes for me. Close your eyes, and then take a deep belly breath through your nose, and count 1, 2, 3, deep belly breath. And then hold the breath at the top, 1, 2. Exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe in for 3. So breathe in for 3. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Hold for 2. 1, 2. Excellent job. I can see all of you on Facebook. That's awesome. And then now exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe normally and open your eyes. What that allows you to do is just center it. So again, I'll do it again. So close your eyes. Take your first deep belly breath through your nose for a 3 count. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Hold it at the top. 1, 2. Then exhale through your mouth for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now breathe in for 1, 2, 3. Hold it for 1 and 2. Now exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. You can open your eyes. And for those who are just joining us, we're talking about the relationship between the brain and the heart. And so the topic is I've written down, can heartache affect your brain? Absolutely. Now the science has been revolutionary. That what's going on is that there are actually cells that communicate with each other. So there's actually communication that occurs between the brain and the heart. Why is that important? Because these two organs, the heart and the brain, super important for you to live your lives, right? It's really important for everyday living. So that's why it's so important. And I'm talking about it in the next 30 minutes or so. Is the reason I want to give you tools that are able to make it so you can affect it, so you can really revolutionize it. Because heartache and what happens to your heart, and if you're not in tune and be able to control it, can really be a negative for your brain. Even can affect your intelligence. So let's talk about some more. Now, the breathing exercise we just did a few minutes ago can really be revolutionary to reduce some of the stress and increase the calm. The experts say actually the real benefits of meditation actually come from when you actually come and hit the 20-minute mark, which is great. But I tell my patients that just give me 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes every day. If you can start with 5 minutes and move to 15 and 20, awesome. But you want to give yourself as little as much as you possibly can. And remember, there are no rules in this. You don't have to sit on top of a mountain, cross-legged, and all that kind of stuff. It's just you want to be able to do it in a consistent manner in a place where you are comfortable, and that's the key. So, I'm ready really to tell all of you how to be able to affect these changes in your lives. So if you can affect these changes in your life, it can really make an impact. And so again, we talked about before the gut-brain connection. Now we're talking about the heart-brain connection. So when you have breathing exercise to calm yourself down, that is to me heart food, because that reduces the excess work that the heart does and can really affect the rest of your body. Beautiful stuff, right? So I want to remind all of you that very quickly here that in approximately about a month, September 12th, this book is coming out. Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Become Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. And today, if you go to askdrnandi.com/Facebook, hopefully somebody from my team can write it down, and we'll be able to you'll be able to pre-order this book and check out some of the important information that I talk about, how to really get empowered. We talk about meditation, we talk about mindfulness, we talk about how to cultivate your mind, and I'd love to give you an autographed copy personalized to you just on this Facebook Live. If you go to askdrnandi.com/Facebook, I can do that for you. I'd love to be able to share some of the information of my life's work with you. So back to our topic, right? You guys are here for to get to see what you can do when you have heartache or when your heart's affected. So I want you to know that at the end of the session that the heart is much more than just a pump. People think that the heart is just a pump, 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 right? Very complex organ that really processes information every single day. Sometimes, the constant communication between the heart and the brain and really other parts of your body. This is not just a one-time thing. The connections that occur between them are really important. And there's some new research that we'll be talking about in my new book, and I'll be talking about the rest of my talk as well. And again, I really want people to know that when your heart is affected, it can really make a difference in your brain. And a health hero, right? We talk about health heroes being proactive. This information can help you become a health hero, and that means making your health the most important part of your life. And when you do that, then boom, you can really make an impact on your well-being. So all these folks that are joining us, thank you so much. Again, if you think this information is useful, share it with folks that you love and know. Patty Holland says, my favorite topics, meditation and breathing. Awesome. Beth Kurse, awesome. Jackie Wolashewski with alternative nostril breathing, the similar breathing exercise with the same results. Absolutely. Whatever you feel comfortable with. I really think that's awesome. Miranda Lee, I can see that. And Nancy joins. Nalini, awesome. Greg, Dutuli, Lonnie, Beth Kurse, awesome. Mayuri says hello. Royals in the house, thank you. Jenny and Brian, pretty appreciate you guys bringing the Royals in. Awesome tribe if you go to beroyal.com. That's awesome. All right, so let's get back to our topic here. As I said before, most of us learned that that in school there's certainly a connection between the heart and the brain. There's got to be, the brain and the heart have to talk to each other. But the connection we thought was mostly in one direction, meaning that from the brain to the heart, the brain would tell you what to do. But the brain we thought controlled everything. But the common understanding in Western science was that the brain sends signals to the heart and not the other way around. And this signal, kind of like the brain is a boss, right? And it tells the heart what to do. But recent science has really changed that. And what's coming out as a picture is that we're starting to understand that the heart actually contains brain-like cells. So in the heart, there are cells like the brain. Why is that important? I'll repeat again. The heart has brain-like cells. In the human heart, 40,000 specialized cells are there called sensory neurites. And these are basically brain-like cells that are in the heart. And so these cells kind of learn independently from the ones in our brain. So they're a little different. And so what happens is that the intelligence of the heart is formed with these cells. And so this connection is super important. So when you have this feeling in your heart, like we're talking about heartache or any kind of pain, that actually those cells may be responsible for some of the feelings that you've had. Now, researchers have actually now found that the heart actually has a mind of its own. Imagine that. It's pretty cool. It operates with this kind of logic where it acts independently of the brain. So sometimes it doesn't ask the brain for permission. It just does whatever it wants to. It does as it's learning. It understands that it's not always what the brain asks. So you can understand that the heart is hurting. If the heart is not healthy, then it may act independently of the brain, right? And so you really want to be able to do things that can calm the heart down, give you heart food. To me, heart food is decreasing the stress, decreasing the noise, increasing some of the calm. And we talked about our simple exercise in the beginning of the Facebook, or in the middle of the Facebook Live that we talked about that. So if you've not watched that, when you finish, please go back and watch it. Again, remember, if you think there are people that can really benefit from this, please share it. I'd love to share this information with a lot of you. And so, it's pretty important that the heart can act kind of independently. So now what about heartache? Scientists have also recently found that physical pain is really possessed in the same area of the brain as rejection and emotional trauma. So I'll say it again. Physical pain is actually found in the same area as the rejection and emotional trauma. Why am I saying that? Because then people who have emotional trauma can have real pain. And so a lot of times they do, and people don't understand why that is. If they're in the same area, you can have the same reaction. So, when you have a death of a loved one, people lose any kind of loss can really result in that pain. And I remember when my dad passed away, I said to my wife, Kelly, this pain It's unbelievable. And this physical pain I'd never felt before, and it was really, really difficult. And so this happens quite often for many, many people. And so we're trying to get people to understand, hey, what can you do when that happens? It's a difficult process, and how can we respond to it? I think that anybody who's gone through a death in the family, a divorce, a loss of a loved one, all those concepts can really, really, all those, not concepts, but situations can really affect your life. And so, I'd like to be able to give you some prescriptions that can really affect a broken heart. So if you could pay attention, it's kind of important if you want to write it down. Number one, love yourself. This may sound a little bit kind of like out there, but you have to. Practicing self-love during, these difficult times is one of the hardest yet most essential things. I'll say it. Practicing self-love can be one of the most difficult things you do, but it can be one of the most essential. Don't beat yourself up no matter what, because if you beat yourself up and say you coulda, shoulda, woulda, it makes it more difficult for your body to heal and your mind to heal. And you have to give yourself a break. People subconsciously feel that they're tough on them emotionally, and that's all of us. I always felt I could do more. I could have done more. I could have done more for my father. And I mean that can consume you, and you can't let that consume you. Don't fall in that trap, and make sure you always tell yourself, you're doing the best. All of us are doing the best they can, right? All of us. And we would, of course, learn from any problems that we have. Learn from our inadequacies, and that's what makes us human. It makes me human. It makes all of us human. And I, of course, went through the same thing when I was grieving my father. So, make sure that you don't give yourself too many punches. Love yourself a lot. Exercise, even when you don't want to. It's really crucial for you to get all those endorphins flowing. Trust me when I tell you that, when going for a jog or just a brisk walk will help you, and it'll help you to kind of, take your mind off. And also you have to be able to not always concentrate on your grief and be consumed by it. Also do other things that are really can help others. It's an amazing thing, but if you never feel as good as you do when you're helping other people. It all comes down to your tribe, right? It's really in our DNA. It's in our makeup. So do other things that can help others. All those things will really help you. So I'm hoping this is beneficial for you. I'm talking about today, for those of you who are joining us, the connection between the heart and the brain, and what can you do for heartache, and what kind of concepts are there. So, in my new book, I talk about some of the tips you can really have for a joyful life and a healthy life. And today I'd like to welcome all of you to really be able to partake. This is the book. This is an early copy that I received. And if you can today, go to askdrnandi.com/Facebook. I'm sure somebody can put that down for me. That'd be awesome. Love to be able to, if you pre-order the book today, I'd love to be able to sign it and personalize it for you. Love to do that today on today. All those who are on Facebook Live, would love to be able to do that. And it's Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. Comes out September 12th, 2017, but you can pre-order it and be one of the first ones to get it. I'd love to autograph it, sign it for you. So all of you who are joining us, appreciate it. For those of you who are joining us and want to share this, please share this with your community. I think it'd really be beneficial. So let's talk about fight or flight. In my last Facebook Live, I talked about meditation, and I spoke a little about, not the last one, but I think it was a couple before. I spoke a little bit about the fight or flight response. I mentioned that the response is overactive in a lot of us. And when it's overactive, I tell you that it's really important to know that you can suppress that. Meditation is one way. Prayer is another way. I mean, if you can really shut that down, that can really be important, because so many of us are suffering from that. So many microscopic level inflammations occurring, and you can break that. In 2017, we don't get the kind of threats our body is made to have, right? Like a lion chasing us, or a tiger, or some woolly mammoth, whatever it is, right? That it's in our past. However, our body responds the same way. It still thinks you're being attacked by that monster. It's being attacked by whatever. So what happens is that, in modern life, very difficult, very challenging, and what happens is that many feelings that you get, overwhelming overwhelming feelings, anger, frustration, and jealousy, and all these negative feelings are the ones that keep the fight or flight. So it's no longer the monster chasing you, but rather your emotions, right? You're getting so frustrated. Today I had a really tough day, and I had a lot of trouble trying to keep that. All of us do, right? It seems like things are coming at you in so many different directions, and you just take deep breaths. And I really did that today. Took some deep breaths, but it still was difficult. And then my fight or flight was really revved up, and I was a little disappointed in myself that I didn't do better. But that's what happens when your fight or flight response. That's what kept us alive. And Dr. Rick Hansen out of I think it's California always says throughout history we wanted to eat lunch and not be lunch, and the fight or flight response really helped with that. But what we need to understand is that, listen, this is not that age where we have to fight these monsters, fight these these animals. But what we're doing is when we have these negative emotions that really rev it up, on a microscopic level, inflammations occur in your body, all the problems, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune disease. You are in full control of that, because if you can train your mind, shut that down. I talked about that breathing exercise. If you do that, when you have a problem, I will assure you that it'll make a difference in your life, big time. We have to, even though life is difficult, and I did this today, you have to sit down and chill out. Right? Lack of a better word, you have to chill out for your bodies to be able to make themselves repair, get healthy again. And so in the rest state, your brain and your heart can really repair itself. Does that make sense? So the chemicals that are released are more healthy and not detrimental to your body. And so one of the ways we can really do that is by consciously cultivating feelings that are opposite to what is giving you that fight or flight response. So instead of being frustrated, instead of being angry or jealous, appreciation, gratitude, care, compassion. A friend of mine, Michael Fishman, he does a lot of help, helps a lot of folks, understand their potential. And he always talks about unlimited gratitude, unlimited, right, appreciation. And when that appreciation and gratitude happens, something pretty cool happens, is that all that kind of feeling of anger and all that feeling of kind of angst, it goes way down. And with it, those hormones that are going insane for the fight or flight response. Make sense? So next time when you have a situation, like I had multiple situations there, it was difficult. What you have to do is get back there, center yourself with the breathing exercise, and remember that you want to be appreciative, you want to have gratitude, you want to have compassion. The problem is that if you wait for life circumstances to really bring this to you, you may have to be sitting there for a long time, right? So the trick is that you want to be intentional. You want to be purposeful, meaning that you gotta think and say, hey, you know what? This is what I want for my life. You gotta be intentional. You gotta write it down. So then, you have to write it down and make it a reality for yourself. So literally, I take time out of every day to practice some gratitude and appreciation. I talk to our kids, right? We talk to our kids in our family dining. We talk about highs and lows and what we're thankful for. Highs and lows. What good things happen that you are grateful for, right? And that can happen to you too. The key is that how do you make that happen? And that's all great, right? They say, Dr. Nandi, but it actually can help you live a better life. It can actually help you live a healthier life. And so that's why we're talking about this. Now, if you can do that, literally take time out of every single day, I promise it'll make a huge difference in your life. It'll reduce the noise, it'll reduce the stress, and really get you strong. Now, when you take time to consciously take out some of these feelings, something incredible happens that the signals from your heart to your brain begin to dance together in rhythm. I'll tell you again. So when you take time to consciously feel these feelings, right? So you kind of say that, you know what, I'm grateful, I'm excited, I'm thankful. Then your heart and your brain come together and they begin to kind of dance, so to speak, in a rhythm. And that's called coherence. And those feelings working together is coherence. Coherence is a sign of great health. And it really means that messages are traveling back and forth, that different body systems are all working conjunction, kind of like an orchestra. So very cool. Let's see what you guys are up to here. Let me take a look and see. Here we go. And Ark Vin says, thanks for the information. Many of my questions I've been wondering for so long have been answered. Awesome, thank you. Barbara Graham, welcome. Sama Akbar, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Health, not illnesses, are accidental. Sadhguru. Health nor illnesses are accidental, absolutely. It's so true that, what happens is that these are all intentional. And if you can, do your best in trying to make it so that it's true. Make it so that you really are the masters of your own destiny. You are your own health hero. You are understanding what it takes and really doing it. Strokes are tough. Strokes are tough. It says, lost a grandmother in my arms last August 20th. It was a blessing to know she's at peace. We have a great memorial in her memory. It's awesome. I'm so looking forward to reading your book. Sawa, thank you. I appreciate it. I also have cardiac disease. Patty Cologne says, pre-order. Awesome. Yes, walking or getting fresh air makes a huge difference. Booney Betty, thank you. Susan Magnuson. All of you, thank you so much for joining us. Let me get some questions. You guys ready for some questions? Let's get to it. So how do we know when our brain and heart are in coherence? So remember, we talked about that. When the signals are kind of getting together, how do you know that? Well, one of the ways you know that is that you feel good. Pretty simple, right? Listen to your body. Your thoughts are clear. This happens to me, when you're kind of in a groove, you kind of you're all put together and you're kind of like, it makes sense, things are clicking. You're able to sustain positive emotions. Remember, if you're joyful for 1 minute, that can be transient. That can just be temporary. How do you sustain these positive emotions? And that's the key. When you're in coherence, the signals traveling back and forth between your brain and your heart really can do so very smoothly and can sustain some of these positive emotions. You may be anxious, you may have trouble controlling your mood, and this is happening in large part because your body is having trouble communicating. When it's in conjunction, it's so much better. So very cool. And then how did scientists, another question, figure out about the heart having a brain of its own? So pretty cool question. So how do you just think about this stuff, right? Very smart people, first of all. Stories about this kind of thing have been around for a long, long time, but nobody really took it very seriously. Cardiologists actually had stories about, patients who had received heart transplant had weird things start to happen to them. So sometimes they'd have memories or dreams that they felt didn't come from them. It's possible that, their memories or dreams would actually come from the person. You never know. But the idea is that could those sensory cells, those brain cells inside the heart, really be responsible for that? It's pretty cool. I think it's really important. Again, we're talking about how to keep your brain and heart in conjunction, in coherent, so that you can live a healthy life. So it's very, very important. And I talk about, this as knowledge so you can become your own health hero. And again, I refer to my book, Ask Dr. Nandi, 5 Steps to Becoming Your Own Health Hero for Longevity, Well-Being, and a Joyful Life. Today, for those of you who know, this book is going to be released September 12th, but you can get your copy. If you dig some of the stuff we're talking about today, you can get your own copy by pre-ordering it at AskDrNandi.com. Easy for me to say. AskDrNandi.com/Facebook. And I will, for those of you who order today on Facebook Live, I will be happy to autograph and personalize a copy for you. It'd be my honor to really share this information to all of our tribe around the world. Make some health heroes around the world, right? It's awesome. And we'll have some awesome bonuses too. We talk about, giving away an app, a mobile app for the Mobile Health Hero, as well as ebooks and meditation guides, all kinds of awesome stuff. So let's get back one more question. What is the role of the vagus nerve? That's a cool question. So the vagus nerve is something that's really important. The vagus nerve is one of the most important nerves of the body, and it's known as kind of the wandering nerve because it spreads all throughout, and it begins in the brain, and then it spreads way to the bottom of the abdominal area. So the vagus nerve is part of this thing called the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that we tap into when we get into the fight or flight response. So it's associated with a slower heart and breathing rate. So when the vagus nerve is doing its thing, it can decrease the the heart rate and breathing rate, and also decreased levels of cortisol and adrenaline. So remember, when you have adrenaline, when you have cortisol, it's increased. That's stressed organ, stressed body. So a toned vagus nerve, something that's really healthy, is essential to good overall health. Very key to remember. And I said before, best way to love the vagus nerve, is to have techniques like yoga, tai chi, meditation, prayer, all that. That's what really gets it going, and it gives that nerve the love that it needs, so it can really thrive. And that's the key. One last question. You have heard that the heart is also a hormonal gland of some type, and so does it play some sort of hormonal role? Yeah, absolutely. The heart is not usually, people don't think of it as a endocrine gland or one that works with hormones, but for sure, it since 1983, scientists have the heart produces a unique hormone called atrial peptide, and atrial peptide has been nicknamed the balance hormone. So people talk about it as a balance hormone because it keeps all the fluids and the system's kind of balanced within the body. And the heart actually secretes and produces some neurotransmitters that work with your brain, that have a range of effects. Now, oxytocin is a love hormone, and so that's one of them as well. So I think that very cool information. Again, we're giving this so you can have knowledge to be able to do something about it, right? So if you're somebody who's going through a lot of pain in your life, you have the loss of someone very dear to you, or if you're just having some difficulty with your heart, remember, doing some of the things we talked about, just a few minutes ago. We talked about some really important things. Love yourself. Remember, love yourself, exercise and movement, and do good things to help others. All those will really help you to be able to live a better life and be able to get past this broken heart. Please grieve. It's really important, and understand and cherish the memories, but don't be overwhelmed by this because that can really affect your life. Again, key things to remember. Finally, I'd like to, give you guys a very important tool. It's a technique that will help you achieve heart-brain coherence. Remember, when they're connected, so please pay attention. It's an extremely effective tool that will help you pull yourself out of a negative state. All of us have been there, and that's one that's more conducive to creativity, positivity, and health. It's kind of a meditation of sorts, but will bring you inside yourself and improve the signal traveling from the heart to the brain. As I said, you can use it any time of the day. The first step is to shift your awareness to your heart. One of the easiest things to do is touch the area around your heart gently with your hand. Feel your heartbeat. Try to visualize the heart actually beating. Slow down your breathing. Slow down. Try to take 4 or 5 seconds with inhalation and exhalation. With as much intensity as you can really put together. Feel one or more of the feelings I talked about, which is gratitude, compassion, love, appreciation. And say these words and feel the feelings. Say gratitude, compassion. I'm compassionate. I'm thankful. I'm appreciative of love and appreciate, all the blessings. Just when you do that, that helps your heart, helps the coherence back between the brain and the heart. Really cool. Do this for 3 minutes, as many as 3 to 4 times a day. I'd say even do it more. Science says 3 to 4 times a day. If you can even do it more, really affects you to get in line, right? Pretty cool. And the body really will kind of get in sync, make you healthier. Immune system gets better, sleep gets better, and then your body really feels like it's in a safe place. Why? Because you've shut down that fight or flight response, right? So it feels like it's in a safe place, and healing can be possible. When healing is possible, then all wonderful things can happen. So instead of that stress where you feel like you're being chased by an animal, healing can happen and calm can happen. So very, very important, cool stuff. Remember, gratitude, compassion, love, appreciation, instead of anger, jealousy, fright, and the negative emotions. Let's get rid of them. So, this is really cool information about what the heart and the brain are talking about. I'd love to share it. Loved sharing it with you, rather. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Wherever you are, it's Thursday night here in the Midwest, and if you're in the United States, and have a wonderful evening if you're not, and This is your Friday. Enjoy your Friday today. Again, remember, we'll be back again next Monday with an amazing topic, another amazing topic. I hope we're talking about colon cancer and how it's really ravaging our planet, and even younger people are getting it now. So I really would love for you to join us and make sure that you guys are back with us again. Remember, I want to tell you, you always make it fun, you always make it exciting, and I love hearing all your comments here on the side. Remember, make healthy living a part of every day. Namaste, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.